watching Tuesday Tips. Today we are doing a Sanders 101 where I will be covering all the different sanders we offer, what they're best used for, and a couple helpful hints. So let's kick things off with the most aggressive sander. So a lot of times when I start my projects, I want to start with my belt sander because it will remove the most amount of material at the shortest amount of time. This uses a 3x18 inch belt. It's easy to adjust the tracking, keeping the belt at center. Couple of quick tips though, make sure you always use two hands. This will tend to want to run away from you a little bit, and also always run with the grain, not against the grain. If you go against the grain, you run the risk of scratching your material. Next in the lineup is our 5-inch random orbit sander. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're gonna choose just one sander in this lineup, this is the one you want. It is extremely versatile. It makes it for a great detail sander, but it's also fairly aggressive. Not quite as aggressive as our belt sander, but a really nice in between and will remove material faster than these two. Now the reason they call it a random orbit sander is it doesn't just vibrate, but it will also spin in a random pattern, meaning you do not have to worry about scratching your material. So really nice, versatile, awesome little sander here. Moving on down the line from most aggressive to least aggressive, next we have our quarter sheet sander. Now the reason they call it a quarter sheet sander is because you can buy full sheets of sandpaper in your paint aisle in your local Home Depot and cut them into fourths. The advantage here from an economic standpoint, it's the cheapest way to buy more sandpaper. Now this is an oscillating sander, meaning it just simply vibrates, but it's a nice versatile tool. Also, this does a little bit better than the other two we talked about when it comes to fitting into tight spaces and corners. The last sander in our lineup, which happens to be the least aggressive, is our corner cat sander. Now, a couple advantages here is the shape of it. Now you'll notice it comes to a point here, making it really, really nice if you're trying to get into tight spaces and corners. One helpful tip here, we've made our sandpaper in such a way, and the reason I want to talk about this is a lot of people don't realize we do this. Now once you put your sandpaper on there, a lot of people wear out the front side first, so they're going very heavy on the nose, but the rest of the sandpaper is perfectly okay. So to extend the life of your sandpaper, we've made these perforations here. So if you wear out the front end of your sandpaper, you simply just tear this front part off, rotate it, place it down there, and then you can wear out the corner again, rotate it again, and that will extend the life of your sandpaper. Here are a couple helpful hints as we close out. So first of all, when you're using your sander, you don't need to lean on it. I see this happen a lot of time, and it's really hard on your sander, and you can create divots in your work material. All you need to do is just guide it where you want it to go and let the sander do the work. Now when you're choosing sandpaper, a couple of points here. First of all, some of these will have holes in them, some will not. Just know if you choose a sandpaper with holes in it, line it up with the holes on the bottom of your sander, and it will allow your dust extraction to be much better. If you choose sandpaper without, just know your dust extraction is not going to be as good. Lastly, when you're choosing sandpaper, just know the lower the number of grit, the more aggressive it's going to be. So I typically start off with a 60 grit and then I end with a 220. Now it's very important to remember, I don't skip right from 60 to 220. I go 60, 120, 180, and then 220. It's very important to work through the progressions of your sandpaper. I hope you found this video helpful. We'll see you next time on Tuesday Tips.